that dukkha is suffering, pain, or unsatisfactoriness. Many things in our life can cause dukkha to arise, to happen, right? And why does that happen? Well, it goes back to one of the first things that the Buddha talks about. And actually, this is one of the theories, regardless of particular tradition. This is universal to all schools of Buddhism, that what we're talking about. And it's what we call the Four Noble Truths. Okay? What made the Buddha very unique was he was a very normal human being. He was born, he had 2 parents, he grew up. He did grow up in very special circumstances, but he was very human. And just like all of us, he experiences the joys, and he had a very questioning mind. He wanted to understand what life was about. What was the purpose of living? What was the purpose of why am I here? And why do things happen to me in this particular life? And so at the age of 35, we say that the historical figure Siddhartha Gautama becomes more than just a normal human being. He becomes what we call a Buddha. And what is a Buddha? Vivian, thanks for volunteering. What's a Buddha?
Someone who is enlightened.
Who is enlightened? Oh, okay, that's really good. Vienna. What's enlightenment?
Reaching a point where you've shed away the suffering.
Shed away suffering? Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Someone else would like to give me what they understand. This is just your opinions. Oh, just to let you know, for the next 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, however long I'm speaking, you please feel free to ask me anything. There's no such thing as a bad question or a dumb question. It's just information that we don't understand. One of the bases of Buddhism is 2 things. One is the Four Noble Truths that we're going to talk about. And to understand that, we have to have a very powerful tool, and that's questioning. The Buddha emphasized questioning throughout his entire life. Okay, admit. What do you think about Karen?
Finding truth.
Finding truth. Okay. What else? What is the word itself mean? Any linguistic minors or anything? No. Alex, enlighten me.
I don't know the etymological origin.
Okay, fine. But what are some of the...
in it.
Yeah. Enlighten.
To shed light onto.
To shed light. To shed light from what?
Putting light onto.
Enlighten means to turn on, to have light, right? Why would we need light? Because what is the opposite of light? Darkness. Right? One unique thing about...
I see a lot of themes with you. Dark whipping and...
Wore a lot of black in high school, huh? Just it. All right. Darkness. You'll see this theme very often in Buddhism. Sin. Is there sin in Buddhism? Sir, I don't remember your name.
Henry.
Hi, Henry. Is there sin in Buddhism?
Not really called sin, but more like actions that come from not understanding.
Okay. Usually, something that we can use that's semi-similar is a different word. Actually, there is no such thing as sin in Buddhism. We don't have sin. We don't have sin. Just to let you know. But we do have something in which we can talk about negativity. And does anybody know what that word might be? Ignorance. Thank you. What's it? Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
What's ignorance? Yes, Alex.
Well, I wanted to answer the differentiating.
Okay, please differentiate for me.
As I understand it, when you sin against an authority, and that authority is usually outside of yourself.
Okay.
So say like a creator, but with ignorance the person you most affect or you most hurt is yourself.
Okay. Everybody agree? Disagree? What do you think? Right? That's one way of looking at it. The whole purpose of the Buddha's life was to investigate these Four Noble Truths. And after he becomes enlightened, this was the first thing that he taught. This was the first teaching. And that's why the first sutra really into our existence, what our life is like. Okay? So it's a very important thing. And each of it's your opinion, right? And you are right, attachment. Before we get into the material thing, only attachment. That's a very important word. What is attachment? Why don't you keep going?
It's like, I don't know, like money, for example. I mean, if you're not attached to money and you go bankrupt, you're like, yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's one way. It shows that easy. It's that easy. Because of that second one, we make things very complicated for ourselves. The Buddha says that suffering does have a cause. And the original cause is what we would call ignorance. Right? It's not sin, it's misunderstanding. It's not understanding the way life truly is, or a better way of looking at it. Right? And because of ignorance, we create unrealistic expectations and attachments. Yeah, you can say that being attached to money is bad, but there's a lot of other things that we can be attached to.
Love and loss?
Well,
That was one?
No, it's love and hate.
Well, just pair is
The
the
pair.
opposite.
Right. Yeah.
But excuse me.
That's in the La Rem Chenmo.
Oh, what you don't like? Yes, I know. What's tanha?
Tanha. Desire.
Oh.
Tanha is Pali and Sanskrit for attachment, desire.
It's the same term in both languages?
Yeah.
Really? Cool.
Really focus on these two things, and you get that sense that Buddhism was very nihilistic, very, very depressing. If you look at really early translations back in the 1800s, Victorian era, yeah, really depressing. It makes Buddhism seem very distant and very shut off from the world. But what Buddhism is not trying to be, it's not trying to be nihilistic. But at the same time, it's not supposed to be this kind of fake lovey-dovey, oh, everything's just so perfect in the world. It's not. Buddhism tries to be a very realistic religion. It tries to see life as it really is. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes neutral. It just is. Life is just the way it is. And what is it that we're looking for? Well, we're looking for happiness. Everybody's looking for happiness, for something better in life. You know, why are you here at this school? You know, what's the point of you being here? There's a reason. Hopefully it's to better yourselves a little bit. Hopefully it's to gain some knowledge. You know? And it means to a better career, family, whatever it might be. So the third is that in life there is suffering. The cause of this suffering is unrealistic expectations, attachments, and desires. Right? But there is a way out of suffering and ignorance. And so it's...
And the last one is the Eightfold Path.
Eightfold Path.
Yay!
Yay! But now...
We didn't go over this.
Wait a second here.
Thank you, John. Maybe,
Oh, this is a very old mnemonic. It's not just John.
well, he taught it to me, so thank you, John.
Okay. That's
Oh
true.
yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, it's a mnemonic device. It's Visa Lemc.
You use your credit card.
Visa
to buy lemons,
Lemc.
which are full of citrus.
So it's an easy way of memorizing this. Visa Lemc. Okay. So speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. So